Hey guys, what's up? I'm glad you're back here on my channel. I just wanted to do a quick little get to know me video. It is the end of our school day today, so if I look any kind of way or if I look like I'm exhausted, please excuse me. It's been a long day. We've got a lot of things accomplished, and it was a good day. We did everything that we had planned for the day, so that's always a great thing. But I had a couple of things that I wanted to clarify, and I also kind of just wanted you guys to get to know me a little better, a little bit more about my background, and why I decided to start homeschooling. So let me start with saying, I know in a couple of my videos, whenever I say I'm homeschooling or I'm talking about homeschooling, I always say my boys and my daughter. Now, I do have 3 kids. And I'm homeschooling 3 kids, but I'm not homeschooling my oldest. So let me explain to you what I mean by that. My oldest is 15. His name is Isaac. He attends public school in our county. He makes wonderful grades. He is a great athlete. He's on the baseball team. He has a lot of friends. He has no issues in school. So I saw no reason to pull him. I mean, he'll be graduating in just a few short years. I mean, his 9th grade year is almost over. So I saw no reason to pull him. So I homeschool my 10-year-old son, Heath, and also my 8-year-old nephew, Keelan. And I will be homeschooling my 3-year-old daughter in August when she's more about 3.5, or we'll at least dip our toes in it and see how it goes. She may or may not be ready. She's showing signs that she's ready, but I may be misreading those signs. I don't know, but we'll give it a shot and see how it goes. But anyway, I just wanted to clarify, whenever I say in my videos, my boys or the boys, I'm talking about my middle son, Heath, and my nephew, Keelan. I'm not talking about my oldest one, Isaac. So I just kind of wanted to clarify that because I know I've, put a video out where I talked about Isaac when I was talking about his orthodontist appointment. But in a lot of my other videos, I also say my boys. And I just kind of wanted to clarify that I'm not homeschooling Isaac, but I am homeschooling my nephew. So I have two boys that I'm homeschooling. Now, a little bit about me, a little bit of a background on me is... I have had many different jobs before I was a stay-at-home mom. I was a child care provider many years ago when Isaac was born. I was also an insurance agent before, and there was a period where I was a stay-at-home mom for a little while, and then I got back into. I decided I wanted to go back to school to be a dental hygienist. And so I did that, and I actually made it a pretty good way through the program. I was up to the point that I was actually seeing patients. And just, I was miserable. I was completely miserable because I missed my children so much. I missed my husband so much, and it was so hard for me to learn how to balance being a full-time student and being away all the time, because I would have to drive an hour and a half just one way to get to school every day of the week. And then still have homework to do when I got home, and then on top of that still have my wifely duties, my mom duties, my house duties, all kind of things that I was still having to keep up with, and I just couldn't keep up with it all. So I had to sit down and really say, what is most important to me? And of course, every time, my family is what's most important to me. So it seems like every job that I've ever had, I always land back at home as a stay-at-home mom. And I remember one time when I was in high school, I was in a home economics class, and we had a visitor that, I don't remember what the visitor was there for, but they lined us all up against the wall and asked every one of us what we wanted to be when we grew up. And my answer was a stay-at-home mom and wife. At that point, I hadn't met Nick, but I knew in my heart of hearts that I always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. It's just something that I love. It's something I enjoy. I find when I try to go out into the workforce that I just can't find that balance of work and home. I can't seem to balance it. I can't seem to devote enough time to one or the other. I can't split my time in half like that. I just don't have that ability. Some women do, and that's great, but I'm not one of those that has that ability. So anyway, after I left dental hygiene school, I became a stay-at-home mom again. And then that's when I got pregnant with Hannah, my youngest. So that was, 3-4 years ago. And then it was maybe, let's see, 2022, I guess, 2021, 2022, when I started feeling the call to homeschool my children. Now, I knew for certain that I didn't want to homeschool Isaac because, like I said, he was already in high school. I didn't feel like there was any point in pulling him out. And also at the same time, it was kind of intimidating, the idea of homeschooling a high schooler right out of the gate. Like the elementary years aren't that intimidating, but the high school years to me are very intimidating. Because Isaac is extremely smart, and I wanted him to be challenged, and I didn't know if I could challenge him well enough. So that's why I left him in public school, but I was mainly thinking about Heath and Hannah. So I talked to my husband about it, and we talked about some of the pros and the cons, and I prayed a lot about it. I talked to some friends that homeschool, got some guidance from them. And after, like I said, a whole lot of prayer and talking to friends, I finally made the decision to homeschool. And I remember filling out my declaration of intent the day that I did it. It was like, well, it's done. It just kind of felt like I took the biggest step, and all I did was fill out one simple form online where you literally fill out like 3 lines. You do an electronic signature, and that's it. And I did turn it into the school. But that was it. That was all I had to do. And it was like this huge decision. And all I had to do was fill out this one tiny form, and it was done. And so then after that, it was the curriculum choosing. And I did so much research on choosing curriculum. But one of the main reasons that I decided to homeschool was we are a Christian family here. And there are certain things that go on in school systems that I don't agree with, that are being taught to our children, that I know for a fact are being taught to our children in certain ways that are unavoidable, that the kids can't get away from it. And I know kind of where we live sort of in a bubble. We don't see a whole lot of stuff that I disagree with yet. Like our school system that Heath was in is a phenomenal school system. I mean, a great school system. So that's not the reason I pulled Heath. We have had 0 problems with his teachers, like ever. I've never had a problem with a teacher. I've never had a problem with any member of staff. I've never had a problem with anything. And he was making good grades. He was making A's and B's. He did have some other little issues, which I won't mention just for his privacy, just for his sake. But they were being handled, and I felt like they were being handled very well. He was being treated with very much respect, and he was very much cared for and loved on, and I very much appreciated that as his parent. He had some great teachers, even right up to the very last, when the last year that he was in public school. And even now, if we ever see him out and about in public, they're always like, "Oh, Heath, we miss you. How are you doing?" They're always so happy to see him and ask him how he's doing. And, I'm Facebook friends with some of them, so they still keep up with us, and they always, see the things that we're up to in our homeschool. But anyway, so that wasn't the problem. The problem was, I see what's being taught to other kids in other states that are a little more liberal than what we are. And I know that at some point it's going to trickle down here to where we are. It may not happen in the next 2-3 years. It may not happen in the next 5 years. But I have a feeling by the time Hannah gets up to like middle school or high school, it's going to look a lot different than how it looks now. And that troubles me. That worries me. And I really want God and the Bible and everything that we believe as a family, the way that we live, I really want that interjected into my kids' daily life as much as possible. I have been able to do that through having morning Bible study with my kids every morning. I have been able to do that through the curriculum that I choose. And so that has been a great blessing to me, is to be able to have my kids around the Word of God, hearing the Word of God, hearing us pray all day long. They hear it all day long. So I know for sure that my kids are being taught what I want them to be taught. And I will assure you that I bust my butt to make sure that they're also getting a well-rounded education. If I feel that something is not rigorous enough, we change it. Now, I'm not, crazy about it. I don't go overboard with it. I don't make them work 8 hours a day or anything like that, not by any means. But I do try to make sure that they're getting everything that they need as far as education goes. But I'm just really, really blessed with the fact that I get to pray with my kids every morning. I get to have Bible study with my kids every morning. We get to talk about things. They get to ask their questions, and we get to dig for those answers together in the Bible. And that is something that is very, very important to me. Now, I know that, some of you may, say, well, that's not being fair. That's not exposing your children to everything that's out there. I feel like, personally, in the younger years, they shouldn't be exposed to everything that's out there. In their older years, maybe so, but I want to expose them after they are equipped with how to handle it. I don't want to just throw them out there to the wolves while they're young and say, here, this is what the world looks like. You figure it out and you figure out how to deal with it. That's not my parenting style. My parenting style is, let me teach you what the world actually looks like, and this is how we handle it in our family, and this is what me and your dad believe. And what do you make of it? What do you think? What do you believe? How do you feel? I think it is very important to teach your children to find their voice very early on, so they can defend their faith when they're older. So that was kind of another reason why, I felt like Isaac is in a good spot. Isaac is, he's not easily persuaded from things. And so I feel like Isaac will be okay in public school. Like I said, he's doing really well. He's the 10th in his class. He's doing very well academically. He's doing very well on the baseball team. He has a lot of friends. He's been dating the same girl for a year and a half, or a little over a year and a half, if I'm correct. So I didn't want to mess up the good thing that he had going for himself. So I'm not totally against public school. I mean, that tells you that right there, that I have 1 in public school and 2 in homeschool. So I'm not totally against public school. And like I said, we have a great school system where we live. We have been extremely blessed that even, like I said, I've never had a problem with any of Heath's teachers. As long as Isaac's school career has been, I have never had a problem with any of his teachers either. I've never had a note sent home for Isaac. I've never been called up to the school for a problem. I've never got, he's never had meetings with the principal on anything. He's never had any behavior issues. He's just a great kid. And I trust him a lot. I feel like I trust him more than most people trust their own 15-year-olds. But that's just Isaac and his personality. That's just how he is. So, I felt like leaving Isaac in public school was the right choice for him. And every day I see that it is. It's teaching him, like in high school, he's learning a lot more responsibility. I've seen him mature a lot this past year. So I feel like that's been a good thing for him. But I think as far as Heath and Hannah are concerned, I feel like for now they are safer at home. And I really like that I can interject our faith into their day and weave it in and out of their lessons throughout the day. Just through the curriculum that I've chosen and things like that. It's Christian-based curriculum. So that is, in a nutshell, that is, some of the reasons why I decided to homeschool. There might be different reasons for you. I know some people decide to pull their kids because of bullying or because of learning disabilities, or they feel like their child isn't getting everything they need to get. Maybe you feel like your child is not getting enough attention at school. which I can totally understand. I mean, if you can imagine how a teacher feels with 30 children, and some of them have learning disabilities that need to be catered to. Some of them have 504 plans that need to be catered to. Some of them have IEP plans that need to be catered to. You know, it can get to be a lot on a teacher's shoulders. So if a kid falls under the radar, it's not surprising to me. You know, that's nothing on the teacher. I don't think that's the teacher's fault. I feel like these teachers are doing everything that they can, to be honest. But and if you hear the boys laughing in there, they're in there playing. They're done with their schoolwork for the day, so they're in there playing and hanging out. And I love to hear them laugh and giggle together. But anyway, so that is the reason why I decided to pull Heath out of school, and why I'm going to homeschool Hannah whenever she's ready. And that was a little bit about me. If you have any other questions about me or for me, you know, about our lifestyle, how we do things at our house, or how I do my homeschool, what my schedule looks like. If you have any questions at all, I'll try my best to answer them. If I feel like the question is inappropriate, I won't answer it. I just simply won't respond. I'm not here to stir up a political debate or a religious debate. I'm not here for that. That's not what this channel is for. This channel is to create a community of homeschool parents, whether you be a homeschool dad, a homeschool grandma, homeschool aunt, homeschool mom, homeschool whatever. This channel is a community of people who are in the same boat, trying to accomplish the same things. And we are here for tips, tricks, ideas, encouragement, you know, coming alongside each other, holding each other's hands, and doing all this together. That's what I want my channel to be about. And so that was, you know, also a little bit about me, just so you would get to know me better. And I really, really did want to clarify about, you know, anytime I say my boys or the boys when I'm talking in my videos, I'm referring to my middle son, Heath, and my nephew, Keelan. So anyway, I'm very excited for the upcoming year, the year to come. I've already been looking at curriculum for the next year. I'm probably going to keep the boys stuff the same. But Hannah, I'm thinking about going with the Good and the Beautiful for her for pre-K. It looks like they have a really, really good pre-K and kindergarten prep program that I really want to try with her. And I have a feeling she is going to fly through it. So I'm thinking about ordering the pre-K program, the kindergarten prep program, and all level 1 stuff. Because I just have a feeling that child will just fly through it, because she wakes up in the morning, she wants to get dressed, she wants to come into the classroom, and she sits down in her chair at the table and says, "Mama, where is my work?" And she wants to do her worksheets, and she will do them. She'll complete them, and she'll hand them back to me, and she says, "Where's my next one? What's next? What's coming next? What do I do now, Mama?" I mean, she's just... And she loves it. She loves to do schoolwork. She loves to use her scissors and her glue and her pencils and her markers and crayons and all that kind of stuff. She shows so many markers of being ready for school that I can see. And even though I'm not professionally trained, I'm not a professional teacher, you know, I never went to college for anything like that. Just I, as her mother, can tell that she's ready. She's definitely going to be ready when August rolls around. That's when our new year starts. We do school year round, but the official start of our new year is in August, like most people. So anyway, that's just a little me rambling on. But anyway, if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. I'll try my best to answer them. If you have any video requests from me, like maybe a little mini classroom tour, you can see my tiny little classroom that we have here. I will be glad to do that. If you want me to show you some curriculum, some other, you know, other little things that I do with the kids, I'll be happy to show that. I showed most of it in my curriculum video, but, you know, there may be a few things that I haven't showed you yet, some things that we've just started that I haven't showed you. I may do a video on how I use the Good and the Beautiful history, because just this week we have started using the Good and the Beautiful history again, and I have completely changed up the way I use it, and it has been a game changer. Let me tell you, like when we first started using the Good and the Beautiful history, I was like, there is no way these kids are going to get this. This is flying over their heads. It's not making any sense to them. It goes all out of order. It's really hard to understand. And me being me, I freaked out because when I first saw The Good and the Beautiful History, back when I was ordering all of my curriculum for the very first time, I saw that they were doing away with their current history curriculum and they were going to come up with a new one. So they had them all marked on sale, like all 4 years. That's how they do it. They have year 1 through year 4, and they had them all marked down on sale. And it was like, they'll sell them until they run out of stock, and after that, they're not restocking. So in my head, that told me, oh my gosh, I've got to get all 4 years, because if I'm going to start with year 1 and then I finish this, I'm not going to be able to buy year 2 because they're not going to have it available anymore. And I like continuity. I like to, start with one thing and finish with that one thing. So I bought all 4 years of The Good and the Beautiful History. I didn't buy the game that comes with year 1, but I did buy, I bought some of the books that go along, like the read aloud chapter books. Now my son didn't really enjoy those very much, so I put those back for later years because they're kind of higher levels. But I have figured out a new way to use The Good and the Beautiful History in a chronological order that makes sense. And if you have ever tried to use The Good and the Beautiful History and you feel like, whoa, this is all out of whack, this is not what I thought history would look like, especially if you're trying to teach elementary age children, you really want to hit U.S. history first. And year 1 dives into ancient history first. And then for a little bit, it talks about the Constitution, and then it goes backwards again. And then in year 2, it starts talking about other ancient civilizations. Like it goes all out of order and all out of sync. So I actually sat up late one night and I went through all 4 history books and wrote down in order what lessons we're going to be doing. So if you would like a video on that, if you're interested, I will certainly do that. I do not mind doing that for you. If you would like to see some of the other books that I have prepped for my 10-year-old to read and my 8-year-old to read, I can show you some of that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I can share. I can share our daily schedule, what a day looks like for us. That'll be a short, quick video, but I can definitely do that if you'd like me to. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I could do for you guys that might be helpful if you're starting out your homeschool journey. I could show you some of my supplies that I bought when I very first started out. And some of these supplies, I bought them over a year ago, and I'm just now using them. Because the teacher in me saw all these little manipulatives and supplies and all these little things and got really excited and just had to have them because they were so cute, and ended up not using them until now, because now I'm in a phase where if I have it, I'm going to find a way to use it. So I can show you my supply closet, as messy as it is. I can show you how I record keep, as confusing as that may be. Because in the state of Georgia, which is where we live, is in Georgia, you are required to have like an annual report written at the end of the year. You don't have to turn it in, but you are required to have it. I can show you what my end of the year report will look like. I'm trying to decide if I will just type up a report of the things we did based off of the records that I've kept, or if I will just use, because right now I'm just using really big 3-ring binders to keep up with all of the work that they've done. I could just use that as my yearly report, and they can flip through and see all the work they've done. If for some reason they decide they want to come and check, I don't know. If they want to come and do an inspection, then maybe that's what I'll show them. I'm not sure how I'll do that. If any of you have, written an annual report at the end of the year, or had it done up a certain way, leave it in the comments. Let me know. I would love to know what that looked like, because like I've said, this is my very first year. I've only been doing this for a little over 6 months, so I've never had to deal with end of year things, end of year testing, end of year anything. So you know, that might be something we can talk about. End of year testing is something we can talk about. That is something that I would like to discuss as well. But anyway, this was mainly just a chatty video, get to know me, get to know why I started homeschooling, you know, give you a chance to ask me any questions that you may have. So anyway, I do appreciate your attention. I know this was a longer video than what I normally post, and it was kind of all over the place. So I do appreciate your attention. I appreciate your views. If you will, click the subscribe button and the notification bell so you won't miss any of my future videos, and give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and I will see you in my next one. Love you guys. Bye.